through the entire T-series product line. Look at the extreme imagination under the rear cover lens, the fake Ultra lens on the fake lens ring, the parameters on it, the Vivo Zeiss co-developed logo plus the Vivo logo below. 5 different fonts and sizes that wouldn't be allowed in a thesis defense. Just say, don't these nonsense inspirational texts feel like those 19.9 yuan free shipping t-shirts bought online? If you ask me, just print professional photography on the back cover as well, plus 1-inch sensor, 100x space zoom, and 5500 mAh battery and super fast charging. Let the author say an inspiring slogan. Yeah, that's complete. Nowadays, even the names of phone parts have to be particular. Everyone still calls it Deco. The nail mistake calls it Paris Saint. Vivo Paris Saint looks a little more upscale than Xiaomi 14 Ultra's gold ring with silver ring. This camera deco is not few. The launch video says this thing looks exactly like a real camera, but I'm puzzled. Is it that I haven't seen cameras, or is my phone angle wrong? Do real cameras really look like this? Common problem with street phones, the X100 Ultra naturally has them all. Lying flat on the table, it stands up like a tent. Horizontal gaming feels bad, wireless charging can't be placed, slightly shaking makes clattering noise. Sorry for complaining so much on street phones, but by the end of 2024 I'm really tired of this design. iQOO12 Pro's film fits perfectly. Vivo environmental little guard makes me cry. This screen is actually delicate and bright enough for outdoor navigation, video watching and gaming, better than Huawei's. Xiaomi's touch response is also very good, clicking and dragging smoothly, flagship level, but the screen's color is hard to evaluate. I noticed obvious red tint around the edges on this screen, not sure if it's an individual case. The side color control is also quite harsh. You don't even have to look sideways. When looking straight at the screen, the top and bottom edges feel green. This annoyance is even worse than the iQOO12 Pro, which theoretically shouldn't differ. Plus, the X100 Ultra's left and right big lakes have a taller aspect ratio, so looking straight at a white background shows one red and one green blotch, causing color bleeding. Secondly, no matter which color mode you choose, it seems you can't turn off the vivid scenery on the desktop. Look, there's no similar smart clarity function. It's definitely not oil painting, but others can at least turn it off. Vivo, please give a switch. The X100 Auto's front punch hole is slightly smaller than X100S's, but the ultra-wide angle is too strict. Selfie photos are okay, but videos only show a big head. Just saying, Huawei and Xiaomi's front punch holes aren't big either, so why can they have ultra-wide angles? Other aspects quickly going through. Infrared, IP68, dual throwing speakers with openings on the bezel, sound quality and volume slightly better than X100S, X-axis vibration motor also slightly better but only slightly, not as crisp and powerful as Xiaomi 14 Ultra and X7 Ultra. With a case, the weight exceeds half a kilo, giving excellent exercise effect. But considering it fits a large sensor periscope and 5500 mAh battery, it's barely understandable. iQOO12 Pro's same single-point timeout fingerprint is not as satisfying as wide-area ones, but the neighboring 10,000 yuan national brand still uses short focus, so no complaints. In short, in terms of stacking materials, the X100 Ultra already offers the most within limited space, but facing lying flat Republic commerce and physical laws, even Vivo is powerless. My X100 Ultra and X100S were received the same day. I racked my brains to collect bugs to improve the show's comedic effect, but I failed. Except for encountering confusion twice with side swipe and up swipe gestures, no bug appeared. Compared to other brands' system tricks, Vivo is insanely stable. Yes, this is truly praise. Moreover, the original OS features are all present without omission. Bed mode stability and compatibility are excellent. Genshin Peace Gene background downloads and hangups don't freeze like Oppo and Xiaomi. Background management is also T0 level. My 16G version opened a few days ago can still continue browsing Taiba. Vivo AI is personally considered the best currently. No redirections, no charges, fast speed, good effects, writing official documents with explosive ranking, focusing on authenticity. The single app frame rate setting that was removed from X100S is added back on Ultra. It's really a strict hierarchy. However, many apps still have frame rate false marking issues, such as maps showing 120 Hz but actually never that high nonsense. The notification bar font is finally enlarged and clear. The quick bar finally has text descriptions, no more guessing. It shows Vivo is listening to our gay community's opinions and continuously improving. The attitude deserves praise, the taste remains unchanged. The Origin OS default desktop font is very thin, and the icon contrast is very low, very unfriendly to light wallpapers. After so many years, the built-in factory apps nomming is still not unified. Adam notes Vivo Health iManager Joby Voice Blue Star Little B Calendar just counting 6 nomming rules. The same chaotic style as the inspirational text on the back cover. Officially there is a Vivo Short Video app, but there's also an iVideo. I once thought Vivo Short Video was some secret oil card on the X100S, but it turned out the Ultra is just a coward. Using the Tips app and Jovi Assistant, I've used both for several weeks and they keep nagging me with tutorials on how to open the camera. The interactive pool deformers the two brothers never leave. They could be directly put into the desktop settings menu, but insist on being independent, giving a vibe like an old employee standing around doing nothing. The front camera video quality on WeChat is terribly bad and beauty mode cannot be turned off. Android lock screen sideways swipe enters an ad screen. I don't know who started it, but others usually show images. Vivo even has videos, adding insult to injury. In short, the X100 Ultra's system experience has no major problems and is even quite usable. But if you really want to nitpick, it's this pieced-together low-quality feel as if several teams made it separately and don't get along, forcibly stuffing everything into the system. Plus, the default theme's strong candy color style is fine on phones like X100S or IQ0012, but on a flagship over 7,000 yuan, it somewhat feels like cadres meeting while carrying a little genius, an awkward mismatch. Gaming, the X100 Ultra performs quite well. Piece elite frame rate is stable, touch and heat are no problem. At 28 degrees room temperature after 1 hour it's only 36 degrees. Even Genshin's performance is okay, highest quality for 1 hour, leisurely roaming and Abyss frames at 57, but heat is somewhat severe, reaching 47 degrees, same as X100S, hot and smooth. This level is normal for an ultra-large cup. As for battery life, after several OTAs, the X100 Ultra's endurance and heat performance have improved, but the premise is you don't open the camera. These weeks this phone basically achieves over 6 hours of screen-on time daily, slightly better than X7 Ultra and Xiaomi 10x Ultra. But if you open the camera, especially outdoors, the heat is immediate and the battery drains fast. Charging supports up to 80W wired. Actual test fills in just over an hour, relatively slow. The included 80W charger is surprisingly still USB-A, not to mention charging power. Even the standard X100S version got a 120W USB-C charger. Does Vivo save so much? First, a basic conclusion. Currently spec-wise, the X100 Ultra is among the strongest camera phones. The X100 Ultra's preview frame rate, resolution and brightness are good among the ultra-large models. The time-lapse stutter problem found on X100S and Pro is not seen on Ultra. All lenses support with stabilization. Telephoto even supports 4K 120p. Sony same model. The X100 Ultra's telephoto macro is very strong, close-up accurate focus, good image quality. Other additional features are also quite rich and well done. Card snapping and semi-farming do not support ultra-wide angle, which is a bit regrettable. But the problem in Ultra's shutter basically were fine 3 years ago. Compared to current Huawei, Xiaomi, Samsung flagships, it's a bit lagging. Especially at night, the zoom basically becomes a PPT. Originally, this screen's brightness is quite good outdoors and the camera preview was normal when first opened, but after a second the preview darkens. I don't know why. This causes the preview to always be darker than the actual shot. The 100 Ultra didn't follow the trend to add a variable aperture. The main camera shoots close-ups worse and looks quite ugly. Professional mode is only found in deeper menus and needs to be manually added to the main menu. It seems Vivo doesn't expect us to use this mode. Even in professional mode there are no zebra lines, histograms, exposure or focus full internal deductions. The preview is inaccurate. You think you lowered exposure but the algorithm forcibly compensates. The photos rely purely on algorithm and mood. The X100 Ultra has even more aggressive algorithm intervention than the X100S, heavy on MSG. After shooting, the system most likely enters idle mode, showing optimized photos with a half-second freeze before allowing operation. No matter which color mode you choose, what you see is basically unrelated to what you get. The algorithm adds fog strangely, as if to increase detail sharpening, then forces softening to simulate camera texture. This optimization strategy is just right for casual snapshots for social media, but don't forget the X100 Ultra is marketed as professional photography equipment. Professional photographers like opening blind boxes right. The AI-assisted hype is even more spectacular. When zooming out a bit with telephoto, the algorithm begins to guess nonsense. Shooting simple horizontal and vertical structures like buildings, clouds, mountains is pretty realistic. But when shooting people, it often produces weird photos with clear eyebrows and mouths but everything else blurred into a blob. Shooting text is directly optimized into Mars patterns. This 4G filter is even funnier, covering photos with fake petals, snowflakes, Chinese characters turning into Thai, car blue plates turning white, green plates turning yellow, going abroad with one click. What is this? Vivo phone's inherited video frame dropping problem is not spared by the X100 Ultra. No matter if you choose 30 or 60p, the video is not as smooth as other brands' same specs, causing dizziness after long viewing. But ultrawide and telephoto don't have this problem. Annoying, right? But the telephoto stabilization algorithm is also strange. Horizontal panning is uncontrollable and very ugly. But the most annoying camera experience on the X100 Ultra is this clicking noise. I know there must be some trolls saying the bigger the module, the louder the clicking and noise means good stabilization. I won't talk about why other X-series phones with similar specs don't click. The X100 Ultra's lens clicks loudly every time you open the camera or zoom, loud enough to record in video, seriously affecting mood. Even when the camera autofocus works, the lens keeps clicking. Sorry, don't talk about camera structure, my Nikon never does this. To briefly talk about image quality in enlarged mouse hair detail, it's boring, so let's roughly discuss X100 Ultra's imaging style. The following goes fast, everyone can pause and watch sample photos anytime. The main camera's details are comparable. Vivo, color is fresher, Oppo is greener, Vivo is yellower but more attractive, Vivo is stronger. HDR control by Vivo is better. Indoors forced AI brightening, but AI is uncontrollable, causing lens killing, a bit overbearing. Night scenes, Oppo is not good with lighting, always looks like covered with white frost. Vivo AI keeps lighting up. Cloudy day shots show blue night skis. Vivo lowers exposure limits. Night scenes are lazy but vivid. Ultrawide, Vivo main camera is the same at first glance. Oppo's fluctuates between blue and yellow, unrealistic but pleasing. Ultrawide night scene, Vivo's detail smudging is worse, colors are overdone. Extreme night scenes are even more obvious, yellow street lamps totally go off. Coming to Vivo, telephoto home turf 3.7x is indeed strong. The physical algorithm is strange, high magnification is still Oppo's strength. Fortunately, Vivo telephoto fears no one, a solid figurine shooting artifact. Night telephoto continues to be yellowish. Dolly bokeh is very beautiful. 30x night telephoto, Vivo experience. 100x zoom is all flying pieces. Looking at video, X100 Ultra's daytime performance is excellent. Ignoring frame drops, details, tolerance and stabilization are all T0 level, but Vivo's default shutter speed is awkward. Daytime shooting of light boards often enters disco mode. The promoted telephoto video at 10x zoom has stronger detail than Oppo, but the strength is limited. I even think stabilization is worse than Oppo. At night, Vivo tends to raise exposure while detail and noise control are also stronger than Oppo. Indeed, no exaggeration. But deep night alleys show Vivo's highlight strategy is a bit excessive, blowing out window details and turning colors greenish. But stabilization is still better than X100 Ultra's. The imaging system's overall strength is solid. Strong photos, unspicy videos, functional, reliable, producing shots easily. Don't think this sounds bad. Few Android brands can do both photo and video well. AI over-intervention should be viewed dialectically. Not everyone cares about WYSIWYG. Many still like artificial beauties. In the past few weeks, when I mentioned X100 Ultra to others, most reactions were wow, Vivo still has a 7,000 plus yuan phone. So high-end users really differ from us gays. Our detailed configurations and specs may be less important than brand appeal to them. Lastly, my view on current imaging flagship marketing tactics. Their main cameras are all 1-inch sensors with ultrawide, so space is limited, only zoom can be competitive. But who normally spends all day sweating and shooting passersby across the street? So these manufacturers desperately find a scenario where everyone can reasonably pretend to sweat. Concerts. Originally we go to concerts to feel the atmosphere. Now everyone holds up their phones for 100x zoom on stars. Look at this promo text, you'd think this thing can defeat a 300 fixed lens. So we all go to concerts just for photos, right? Even if you go for photos to record life and satisfy vanity, what else is it good for? Economic downturn, tech bottlenecks, shrinking desires force manufacturers to create demand. Buying phones for concerts is like buying Lululemon for